Sergeyev unloaded on Tony Meola. Meola getting his body in front of it, and it deflected off the post.
Well, Sergeyev really took a hard blast that Tony Meola had to count on his best friend, the post, to knock it out of there.
Now the corner coming back for the CIS. Still scoreless. We're live in the second half. Meola coming out, and he's got this one. Good reactions by Meola on the Sergeyev shot.
Well, here it comes again. Watch this shot, a hard left-footed blast that Meola gets his hand on, and then, of course, the post comes into play there. So Meola was in great position to save that, and the post is the keeper's best friend.
Sergeyev really showing a strong left foot there, and I think he was disappointed that he didn't keep that shot closer to the post side. He drove it toward the middle. That was without doubt the best scoring opportunity of the game for either side so far. But Randy, it is still 0-0.
Randy, one of the things that forwards are often taught to do is to not hit the ball so hard. Goalkeepers, so much of their training is done on reactions. There, Tony Meola reacting very quickly, maybe making the save actually easier to do had the guy misfired the shot a little bit and have it roll on the ground.
CIS still with possession. Over to the far side. Comes back through the middle off of Ledyakhov to Kuznetsov. He tried to play it through, but it wouldn't go. Now Henderson knocks it across. Michallik playing it ahead to Quinn. Quinn under pressure. It's deflected away, and now Doyle will have to go all the way back to Tony Meola. Now here's Marcelo Balboa taking it, and the Commonwealth players are turning up their level of intensity here in the second half, as the USA has to some extent. Coming back to Meola again, and the crowd a little disappointed with this constant passing back of the ball to the goalkeeper.
And Randy, both coaches are awaiting momentarily now to make that substitution. The players have warmed up. They're now actually standing by the sideline waiting to be signaled on the field. That being number 13 for the CIS team, Igor Chugainov, and number 9 for the United States team, Roy Lassiter. Obviously, coach is not happy with what it is that they've seen out there, and they're trying to insert players to maybe give a little bit of an extra lift to their team, to their players, and also specifically maybe even giving assignments to some of these players as they enter the field that they can communicate to the other players.
Rick, do you think the tongue lashing that both teams probably received at halftime had anything to do with the raise in intensity that you see out there?
I think that it did a little bit, certainly for the CIS team. Tongue lashing, I'm sure they got, because this isn't a banner performance by either team. I think that the players tend to react to different types of stimulus. I remember as a player, if somebody yelled at me, used to kind of make me mad.
So the substitution you saw there by the CIS, number 13, Igor Chagayev coming in for Mandreco. And play goes on as the ball comes out over the far side again. Lassiter still waiting to be signaled in by the referee for the United States. Evidently some paperwork had to be taken care of, not properly filled out, as he's back over on the bench. Now he's got his pink slip. Meantime, to throw in back on the far side. Outside the 18-yard box, headed back in again. Clavijo went up, won that in the air momentarily. CIS continuing to put on the pressure here in the second half. Here is Cveiba. And his pass at the edge of the box is kicked out by Balboa. And it will be Eric Wynalda coming out for the USA as you look at Marcelo Balboa. So now the United States has made their substitution. In is number 9, Roy Lassiter, of whom we spoke, from North Carolina State University. Has to be a thrilling moment for him. His first ever appearance in the USA uniform. Ball out of play down at the end line, and the United States will get this back on the goal kick. There's Roy from Raleigh, North Carolina, 5'11", 165 pounds, 22 years of age, and takes the spot of Eric Wynalda.
Andy, what do you think his blood pressure level is at this point?
Boy, it's got to be pretty intense. Big crowd here, an important game, a scoreless tie, and he comes in for a regular forward in his first appearance.
First appearance, an opportunity where he can certainly impress a coach that'll be coaching the team down the road here. Great opportunity, but I would imagine adrenaline is pumping through his something at some kind of a fierce pace.
Clavijo now playing the ball back through the middle as the crowd tries spurs on the United States. Lassiter back there Good job to cut off the pass back to the goalkeeper by Чернышов. It comes back through the middle. Clavijo pushing off Kiryakov, gets away with it. Now Balboa looks for Lassiter. The pass left side, Lassiter after it. This will be cleared to the center field side of the flag, so this will be throw-in USA, not corner kick. I'm impressed, gentlemen, by this crowd here. This has not been the most exciting of games so far as both these teams come off layoffs, but this crowd really is intent on having a good time.
They're intent on having a good time. They're starting another wave as it makes its way around the stadium here. One of the important things in terms of Miami, in terms of being a host venue community for the upcoming World Cup, was the ability to mobilize the local soccer community. And this game has certainly demonstrated, just by the sheer numbers of people that are here, that they're well behind the effort here in terms of the soccer as a sport.
Tremendous job by the organizers here as the USA continues to draw large crowds at its international matches. Now a chance for the CIS. Back to the front for Pятницкий, and that's cleared away. And the CIS there a little deliberate with their passing inside that, I guess we could call it soccer's red zone, the 18-yard box, and it was an opportunity that got away from them right there.
Sure, they would like to have a shot after a number of good passes, and Pятницкий set it all up by dribbling between 4 U.S. players at midfield.
That kind of penetration without a shot is a disappointment, but disappointment also showing, and I think, a little frustration on the face of Bora Milutinovic down there, wondering what it's going to take to spur his team on in this game. Of course, they'll have a week to talk over what to do against this club next time around when they meet a week from tomorrow at the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. Clavijo heading this ball in the 18-yard box, not out of trouble yet. The shot deflected in. Cveiba's shot went in off a defender in front, and it is 1-0 CIS.
That is a goalkeeper's worst nightmare. Cveiba takes a good hard shot. Meola thinks he has the angle on it, and it deflects off a U.S. defender. It's going to come up right in a moment here. Deflects off the U.S. defender, and Meola's caught wrong-footed, and he just can't make the save. Cveiba showed that even though you don't have a clear shot, you can still get a goal on it. Looks like it deflected off Doyle. Here it comes again. Right there. There's a deflection, and Meola's caught wrong-footed, and it goes in the net. Goalkeeper's worst nightmare. And Cveiba, he's one of the most experienced players on the field.
There's the shot by Cveiba, and John Doyle, in fact, trying to clear that. Kicks it into his own net. Obviously, no opportunity for Tony Meola there. So, an own goal, if you will, is the difference in this game now as the CIS has taken the lead. Still 22.5 minutes left, however, in the second half. Now a nasty tackle down deep, and we may get a yellow card here as number 15, Lediakov, brought down Marcelo Balboa, and the referee is over there quickly to adjudicate. We may see a yellow come out as Meola is yelling at the referee now, and they're asking that the American trainer be allowed onto the field to attend to Marcelo Balboa. That was seemingly, and I don't know what your angle was down there, Rick, a fairly nasty tackle down deep.
Yeah, a little bit of a nasty tackle, and in kind of an unimportant part of the field. Typically, when the ball is won clearly by one of the players, offensively, the team need not put that type of a play or that type of an effort forward. As we get an opportunity to look at the replay, Marcelo clearly having the ball here. What? I don't understand a tackle like that. That's, I think, a little bit of over-enthusiasm, or in that particular case, maybe the willfulness of to instill harm upon another player, because that just has no place in this game.
And Lediakov, I believe, did get a card, and I'm sure it's because he showed the bottom of the spikes in that tackle. Whenever you put your foot up, it's really a dangerous situation, and that's the reason why Marcelo Balboa is down right now.
So as they attend to Balboa, Igor Lediakov gets the yellow card for the CIS. He's a 27-year-old, so a veteran of league play in his country. Russia, plays for Rotor Volgograd there. And you could write it off to youthful enthusiasm were it not for his age, I think.
Now, that type of play isn't youthful enthusiasm, Randy, because once again, in this particular case, Marcelo is completely vulnerable, has his back to the play, clearly has possession of the ball. It's off in the corner of the field. not once again right in front of the goal where there's a scoring opportunity that may result of being able to strip the ball away from Marcelo, and he tackles him when he doesn't even get to see it coming.
So the yellow's been given, and we are back underway, and that is Balboa, who has recovered and will stay on. Slipping was Savage and unable to get that pass. Here's the goal again from Cvejba. And you see the change in direction off John Doyle, completely catching Tony Meola and the rest of the USA defense off guard.
Cvejba was the only player on this field today for the Commonwealth who played in Italy in the last World Cup. And one unique fact about Cvejba, he is Georgian, but he won the top player of the year in the Ukraine, and that's quite an honor because that's tough to do. They would not normally give it to a Georgian, but he must be quite a player to win that award.
Many of the top players for the Soviet Union were from Russia and from the Ukraine. Many of those whom we talked about that have been sold to club teams in Europe. And Cvejba is one of those from Georgia, as you mentioned, Matt, and also one of the few people on the field who's played against the United States. Here he is again, tackled by Balboa, who did a lot cleaner job of that than Lediakov did on him in the corner a moment ago. Cvejba was slow to get up, but he's all right. Back to Chugajnov now. 1-0. CIS leads the United States. We're under 19 minutes unofficially left here in the second half. Cross front of the box, intended for Kiryakov, and that will be cleared over to the far side.
Randy, strategy starting to become a part of the Commonwealth of Independent States game plan at this particular point. They're about ready to make another substitution, bringing in number 10, a forward, Yuri Nikiforov, bringing out, I believe, number 8, Andrei Pятницкий, who is a midfielder. So they're thinking that offense is something that might help them stay ahead in this game, and they're putting in an offensive type of player.
Chugajnov, 13, quick pass up the right side, Cvejba after it there. And it will be cleared out by Michallik. And there you see number 10, Yuri Nikiforov, his first international appearance. And we're comparing their prior appearances to their appearances with the Soviet team, of course. And now the switch as Nikiforov comes on in place of Pятницкий. The short throw in to the edge of the USA 18-yard box. Cross back in. Henderson planted there, heads it toward Kinnear in midfield. The CIS dominating play here in the second half. As the ball comes out, the U.S. will get a throw in. It seems like a long time since the ball's been in the other 18-yard area.
Randy, on the other side of the field, the United States team, they're about ready to make a tactical change as well. Milutinovic opting to bring in a newcomer to the United States team, which would be his first appearance, that being number 16, Mike Sorber out of St. Louis University, who is a creative midfield type of player, and I'm sure he's looking for him to try and generate a little bit better ball distribution and ultimately generate some things offensively.
Ball controlled now by the Commonwealth. Brian Quinn will get it back. Doyle fakes the pass back. Now Quinn will try and create from the far right wing. Overlapping run by Savage, but Quinn elects to go up the middle looking for Lassiter. That's intercepted, cleared back by Чернышов. Харин, who's barely touched the ball in this second half, picks up for the CIS. Well, it makes sense that Milutinovic would want to bring in some of these players who survived the minicamp. He doesn't have a whole lot of opportunities to get these players in because after the game against this team again in Detroit next week, the United States goes on the road for a game in Costa Rica, and it's unlikely that all those players would accompany the team on the trip to Central America. So he wants to get a look at them while they're still on home soil. Here's Michallik. Look cross far side. Up in the air goes Doyle. Knocks it back through for Kinnear. We're going to get a handball and a penalty kick for the USA.
Well, Kinnear certainly helped out on that call a little bit. He headed the ball. He saw the handball take place, and he was motioning to the official. A hand took place. A hand took place, and it looks like the official either saw it on his own or might have taken his advice.
Here's another look at the handball and see if we can pick it up in this crowd.
Well, Doyle brings it in. Good cross to Kinnear, and Kinnear gets ahead on it. Right there, drives it down, and of course it was a handball. Now there's a little delay, but all the players are raising their hand, looking for that infraction, looking for the call.
Yeah, a little argument because it clearly did hit the CIS player's hand, and as it was goal bound.
Here's Balboa now on the penalty kick for the United States, and a chance to tie the game. And it's saved by Harrin. Balboa goes straight up the middle and low, and Harrin stops number 17 and keeps the CIS in the lead.
Well, it looked like Balboa was trying to catch Harrin guessing, because Harrin made the move, dove, and he put it up the middle, and Harrin caught it with his feet and made the great save.
Now an offside flag comes up as the CIS penetrates down at the other end. And what a disappointing missed opportunity as Balboa's penalty kick is stopped. We'll take a break and come back on Sports Channel.
The times I can't forget, the hero who's my friend, I know that it's forever. The real thing, talking about the real thing. Oh, you know it when you see it, know it when you feel it, know it when you drink it. Coca-Cola classic can't beat the real thing.
Making life a little sweeter, making life a little sweeter. Mars, making life a little sweeter. I can't stay a while. Making dreams a little truer, life a little sweeter.
Randy Hahn along with Matt Barr and Rick Davis back live at Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. The CIS with a 1-0 lead, and on the attack again. The header off the post. It hit Meola, and it'll stay in play. And they almost made it 2-0 right there as Kiryakov put one on target that hit the post, and that's the second post that the Commonwealth has hit in this game.
Here it comes again. Number 10, Nikiforov, sends the ball across. Kiryakov has a good header, gets up really high, drives it to the far post. Unfortunately for him, it hits the post. Fortunately for goalkeeper Tony Meola, it was there.
Turnover in midfield. Here's Clavijo to Henderson. Under 13 minutes left on the stadium clock. The USA certainly still in this. Here's another look at the penalty kick by Balboa as he goes right-footed low. And I'm wondering, Rick, down in the field there near the USA bench, was there any discussion that Balboa maybe should not have taken that because he was hurt earlier?
Well, Randy, obviously hindsight will tell us that that probably should have been the case because he was injured in a very dangerous and bad tackle earlier in the game. You wonder what goes on in a person's mind when they've been involved in something like that, because a penalty kick to me is nothing more than a mental game. All you got to do is pick a spot in the goal and then hit it.
Acosta with an opportunity, spotted Lassiter up front, and Lassiter unhappy with the job he did receiving that pass. It was head high, and he let it go over his head, perhaps thinking someone was running in on the right wing. But that was an opportunity that goes by the board late in the game here. Down to 11.5 minutes left in regulation. The Commonwealth of Independent States, formerly the Soviets, playing in their first game abroad, leading 1-0.
Rick, to go back to that penalty kick just a little bit, there's two schools of thought on taking the kicks. One is to finesse it and put it to one side or the other, hope to catch the keeper guessing and put it to the opposite side. And the other is to just blast it to one side or the other and hope that the keeper can hold on to it. In this case, it looked like Balboa was trying to finesse it. He did catch the keeper guessing, but he held his feet enough to stop it with his feet.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matt, because there are two clearly different philosophies involved there. But I think if you're going to finesse it, you might as well make sure you get it pretty close to one of the corners in the event that the goalkeeper doesn't commit himself too much to one way, as we saw the CIS goalkeeper, Harrin, not do.
United States with an opportunity here. Quinn crossing, looked wide to the right. That time trying to reach Sorber. One of the substitutes here in the second half, Mike Sorber, out of St. Louis University. Back the other way come the Commonwealth. Kiriakov into the box again. This time looking for a teammate running on. Meola has it out to Jorge Acosta. Acosta to Lassiter. Lassiter in all kinds of traffic and unable to hold it there and wait for help from the back.
But that was an example of Meola getting involved in the offense, because as soon as he got the ball, he threw it upfield quickly to Lassiter and Acosta, who almost made something happen. Here's
Chugajnov. Back across it comes to Lestov. Lestov works it far to the opposite side of the field from our broadcast position. Nikiforov with it for a moment. Cleared back now for Balboa. Long ball, but Lassiter is a good 10 yards offside. And he acknowledges the whistle immediately for the linesman on the far side. So the CIS will get it back here as we have some work being done on number 13 for the Commonwealth. Chugajnov getting a rub over on the near sideline here. There you see Chadadze, that is.
Yeah, Randy, actually it is Chadadze. It's a fatigue injury. He came over. It looks like he's either having cramp problems or potentially a muscle pull, which in his case would be devastating at this point, because a cramp you can play your way through. A muscle pull, there's nothing you can do.
Rick, I know this is just a minor breach of the rules, but doesn't Chadadze has to ask permission to get back in the game simply because he came off the field to be treated?
It's a significant breach of the rules, because once you leave the field of play, you are not allowed to re-enter the field until the referee signals you on. Well, he came over to the sideline, got treatment off of the field, and then just simply walked back out there when he wanted to.
Nobody on the U.S. bench seems to be particularly upset about it. Not that it would make any difference if they were at this point. Ball back in the U.S. half of the field now, or in the CIS half of the field. And the U.S. trying to find a way to equalize here as we're under 10 minutes left in regulation. 1-0 on the goal by Cveiba that deflected off John Doyle earlier in this second half. There's Chugajnov. Gets the return pass, or almost did, but Clavijo intercepts. He turns it right back over. Chugajnov off his head. Kinnear with it for a moment, and the CIS doing a good job in midfield here, battling and winning balls, and more importantly, killing a lot of clock. Sorber trying to track it down, so far unsuccessfully. Lediakov, some skillful moves as he turns a couple of American midfielders around. Now gets it back on a nice pass. Here's Lediakov working his way down the left side, and a body check of some significance thrown there by John Doyle.
That's a clash of titans. You've got two guys that stand about 6'3" each. Matt, people like you and I get stuck in between those guys when they collide, and we get hurt.
Absolutely. Lediakov, you know, maybe Doyle cracked him a little bit, because Lediakov almost looked like he was playing with the U.S. defender. A little bit.
Savage back there controlling for the United States. We'd like to remind you that this copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of Soccer USA Partners and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, publication, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of the game without the express written consent of Soccer USA Partners is prohibited. I don't know that one off by heart. Here's the throw-in for the CIS now as we're down under 7 minutes. Doyle up to knock it out. The shot from outside the area deflects once more, and Meola had visions of the last one that went in. We pause with a goal kick coming up. It's 1-0 CIS.
I have a confession. I have no idea how to choose a long-distance calling plan. I don't have to. Sprint does it for me. They keep track of when and where I call and actually let me know which calling plan will save me the most money. They do all that just because I'm a Sprint Priority customer. And I thought it was because I was their spokesperson.
Can't get enough of America's first World Cup? You will in Soccer America. How about our national team and the Olympics? Soccer America delivers.
I've been reading Soccer America ever since I went head-to-head against Pelé back in the 70s. I like Soccer America because it profiles personalities. It reports on the pro, college, women's, and international scenes, and focuses on the very pulse of soccer in America.
Call toll-free to learn more about Soccer America, the USA's only national soccer weekly. 18 issues, just $19.94. Call 1-800-453-6500 now.
A free kick opportunity for the United States, but before, I think we're going to get another yellow card to the Commonwealth, and indeed we are, as there was some delay on the restart due to the rather tardy actions of Sергеев, who was not moving away from that ball in time for the United States to initiate this free kick quickly enough. So now he's been booked, and we get the free kick for the USA. Try to equalize here as we're down under 5 minutes. Kinnear into the box, off the head of Clavijo, right at the top of the bar, and pushed over. And some behind the CIS goal thought that had gone in, and it had a chance.
Well, Lassiter, even though he didn't get a head on the ball, made Harrin really stretch to knock it over the net. He couldn't hold on to it, and he just challenged. Just that challenge alone got the corner kick.
There's another corner, and up in the air went Doyle. It was knocked away. Quinn on the rebound, and that's way too high.
Well, here it comes again. Clavijo gets the head on it. Now watch Lassiter challenge the keeper and force him to knock it over the net.
Some cool play by Harrin, the CIS keeper, as Clavijo hit that ball so high with his head right there, and it just took a looping arc, and I thought it was going to go over, and it was very close to going in. Harrin perfectly measuring that push of the ball over the crossbar. There he is, and here comes the USA again. Lassiter wide on the left side. As we're under 4 minutes, he's tripped up as the ball comes out. Cvejba initiating the contact there. As you look at Lassiter from North Carolina State, looking pretty good here in the last couple of minutes in his first appearance in an American uniform. Cvejba has been delivering on both ends for the CIS. Trying to get it turned around is Sorber. He'll force it out wide now, and it'll be kicked off his foot by Kuznetsov, out of play. Poor throw by Kinnear, and now he kicks it back to the front of the box for Henderson. Second time around, he'll knock it through. Cvejba up in the air, clears that one away. Now the loose ball on the near side as we come down under 3 minutes. And Clavijo will let it roll out for the throw-in. Far side, Doyle up there. Let's see what the call is. Goal kick. Time now for the American Airlines Something Special in the Air play of the game, and it's the save by Dmitry Harrin on Marcelo Balboa on the penalty kick here in the second half. A goal that would have tied this game, but Harrin, the Olympic gold medalist for the then Soviet Union in '88, comes up with the stop. American Airlines, the official airline of the U.S. Soccer and the U.S. World Cup team, congratulates Dmitry Harrin of the CIS for a play that is truly something special in the air. To the live action as Lassiter at the edge of the box for the United States, trying to find someone back the other way. Henderson in the mix as we're under 2 minutes unofficially now here at Joe Robbie. Back to Clavijo as the United States starts to send people forward. His shot kicked from behind right into the hands of Harrin. And he'll hold it and try and waste some time. High kick by Harrin. And it goes out of play far side. This will be a throw-in for the CIS. Knocked back the other way. Push to the right side. This is Chugainov. He has room, measures it. Not sure if that was a cross or a pass. It is headed out back there by Bruce Savage, and another corner kick for the Commonwealth.
Smart move by Bruce Savage, because Kiryakov was standing right behind him waiting to unload on that ball. He was hanging all alone on the back post, and Savage knew he was there and knocks the ball out of bounds for the corner.
So the Corner kick now for the CIS. Curled to the middle. Meola up. Bobbling it away.